Jonathan, the Vlogger 9000 here, back with another video. So in today's video, it's gonna be a story time. So in the past, I've done Youth Day story times. I've done one every time I've shot a deer on Youth Day, and I've also done story times on like filling my bonus tag and stuff like that. Well, this year, I don't know why I've taken so long to make this video, but I don't know. So I'm finally making it. So this year, me and my dad tagged out on our first big woods bucks. So what I mean by that is, we used to live on an island, and last year we hunted up in the big Maine woods, and we didn't shoot any bucks or anything. So plenty of does, but did not shoot any bucks. We had one on camera that was huge, and I'll pop a picture up right here. So this buck was pretty much nocturnal the whole season. We only had very early morning pictures of him like one time, and then we didn't see him for the rest of the season after rut kicked in. So my dad and I had a hunch that we knew where he was bedding and where he was. So after season, we went out and looked. We were going to scout some to see if we could find where he was, see if we could maybe find his sheds, and we didn't find his sheds, but we did find a bunch of tracks from him that we knew were from him. And so we figured out a game plan that the next season we were going to move to a different spot. So where we were hunting, there was an area, and then there was a brook, and the brook divided the two areas that we were hunting. So we had a feeling that he was living on the other side of the brook that we were not hunting on. So considering the fact that we only had nocturnal pictures of him there, we figured he might be over there during bow season and stuff, and during the daytime, and he might be making his rounds over there. So we did all that, and then bow season rolled around. We get our stands up. We didn't hunt much during bow season. Didn't really have the ambition this year. But as soon as rifle season rolled around, we were in the stands as much as we could be. And yeah, so November 11th, I'm sitting, well, so a couple days prior, like 2-3 days prior, me and my dad had moved my stand because it was on a spot that was in a huge clearing where I could shoot like 130 yards, but I hadn't seen a single deer sitting in that tree stand. So we move my stand, and about 2 to 3 days later, I think it was 2 days later, I'm sitting in the stand, and I hear deer walking around me. So I look over to my right, and I can tell that they're from my right because obviously I heard them come from my right. And I look over and I see a big doe cross. So I'm sitting on a grass road. There's a grass road behind me, and there's a grass road below me. So the grass road that I'm sitting on, there is a huge scrape in front of me. And the grass road below me, there was scrapes on, but the grass road above me, there wasn't any. And so I see this big doe, and then I kind of like softly grunt to see if there was any bucks in there and if they would come over, but they didn't. There was no bucks in there, so they just wandered off slowly. And yeah, once they wandered off, about 10-15 minutes later, I started to grunt again. So I grunted, and I could hear something down in the woods, down in front of me, probably about 100 yards away. I heard crashing and slamming and stuff, and yeah, so I heard something coming to me, so I grunted one more time, and then I just waited. I waited and waited, and about 5 minutes later, I hear, no, probably not 5 minutes, probably about 2 minutes later, on the grass road below me, I hear something cuffing that scrape, and I'm like, this is it, I'm gonna get a shot. So the buck walks up to the road that I'm sitting on, to my right, where I don't have a shot, and he stands there and mills around. And I'm like, oh, come on. So I take the grunt. Let's see if there's a grunt over here. Yes, it is. I take the grunt, and as soft as I can, I just go. And I kid you not, he picks his head up, and he's on a string, straight to me. He walks on a string until he's 10 yards from my stand, and he's just sitting there looking around to see where it came from. I put my scope on him, and boom! I hit him right here, and it came out about right here. So I got lung and liver, and he ran about 10 feet to the left, stumbled around for a second, turned around, ran 5 feet from my tree stand ladder, and fell about 10 yards away after he stumbled for a little bit. And I was screaming, and I was so happy, and all this stuff, and I thought it was actually a different buck. I thought it was a little basket rack 6-pointer that we had on camera, but I'll pop up pictures of that deer right now. It was a spike horn with a really, really screwy right side. I don't know what had happened to it, if it was genetics or if he'd done something in velvet, but yeah, that was my deer. Okay, so October 22nd, I think. November 22nd, not October. I'm over at my friend's house, and I get a Snapchat from my dad. He said, "I got him." And I was like, because he had been chasing this buck, the big one that I showed you before, the 8-pointer. He had been chasing him, and we had gotten early morning pictures of him. And after I shot my deer out of my tree stand, he had been sitting in it for the past week and a half. And the one day he decides to sit in a stand he had been sitting in, which is in a little clearing, that deer walked right under his tree stand. And he explained it to me. He had grunted him in, actually, and he was on a string. And he went right by the bottom of his tree, and my dad was able to lean out over and shoot. He shot straight down, and he went through the spine, got lung, and somehow the bullet ended up in like his lower leg. He actually got the bullet out. If it'll focus. He got the bullet out. That's 7 Magnum. But the deer dropped in its tracks. And with the guts, it was probably 220, 230 maybe. But because of how he was running from the rut, he was pretty skinny. So he was 175 without the guts. So that's my dad's biggest buck to date. I also green scored the deer for him, considering I've done it many a times. Like, I've done it with that one right there and that one right there. That one's 103 and like 3/4, and that one's like 90 something. I don't know, I can't remember. But green scored that deer. We nicknamed it Colossus because of how big it was. It's the biggest deer we've ever seen. And green scored, it was 133 inches and 1/4, which is definitely his biggest by far, because that one right there is his biggest census deer, or was his biggest before this, the deer that he just shot. So it's not my biggest buck to date, but the one that I shot, but it's my second buck, first big woods bucks that me and my dad have ever gotten. I'm still one up on him, though. I still have gotten a deer with a muzzleloader, and he hasn't. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. It's been long overdue. And also, thank you guys for, we're almost at 59,000 views. We have 426 subscribers, and that's amazing, guys. Thank you so much. I know I haven't been uploading, but you guys are still gaining me subscribers, and it's awesome. I love it. My goal was to hit 400 by the end of the year, but we passed that, so I changed it to 450, but I know that's not going to happen, so. But thank you guys so much for the support and everything, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I also have a new channel. It's called JTV Games. If you go to my channels thing at the top, when you go to my channel and there's like the thing, and then it's videos, and then it's about and like stuff like that. If you go to channels, it's one that's a link there, so you can check that out. I'll probably leave it linked in the description of this video too, so you can go check that out. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, click that red subscribe button down below. Let's try and get 450, guys. That's my next goal. And yeah, also 60,000 views is my next goal too. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, I'm glad, and I'll catch you guys next time. See you later.